This is Smiles TV.
Thanks for tuning in to Smiles Television Talk Show. This is part 2 of our episode with Olympic athletes from right here in East St. Louis.
That boy is talking about boxing?
Was a member of the 1988 U.S. Olympic boxing team. Please welcome tonight's challenger, introducing Arthur Flash Johnson.
Whether you were boxing or not, you had to be able to fight to survive, whether it's from a physical point or an emotional standpoint, poverty, if you will. So you have to be able to fight. If you don't like boxing, guess what? You're gonna fight. Boxing taught me a lot of things.
If you stay determined, if you stay disciplined, there is nothing that you can't accomplish. That's what I believe. That's what I live by. That's the attitude that caused me and helped me to accomplish what I accomplished.
Welcome back to the second half of Smiles Television Talk Show. And like I told you in the beginning, we have a gentleman here, Arthur Johnson. And as a matter of fact, I think they used to call him Arthur Flash Johnson. And Arthur Johnson is a Goodwill Games gold medalist, and he's also an Olympian. Come on and welcome Arthur Johnson. Arthur, thank you for coming to Smiles Television Talk Show. It's a blessing to see you again.
It's my pleasure, absolutely.
You know, I told you when we were meeting, when we first met again today, that you have not changed. You still look like a kid.
Well, thank you very much.
You do, and I see you didn't get beat up on too much.
Well, I was fortunate, I was blessed to have been able to do what I did as an athlete and then walk away from it with a sound mind.
Wow.
That's
and you know what, we might talk about that, having a sound mind after boxing, because I guess that can be something with which to deal. But Arthur, just for the sake of our audience, those of you who may not be familiar, if you will, give a little background on your history from East St. Louis, Illinois. What was it like growing up before becoming a boxer or before becoming a professional boxer?
Sure. Well, one of the things that I really love about the career is being from East St. Louis. It's a great place to be from because there's so many champions that's come from this place. Well, I grew up, I was born living on Missouri Avenue. You're familiar with Missouri Avenue? And from there, let me shorten the story just a little bit. I primarily grew up in the John Robinson Projects, which was right across the street from Lincoln Senior High School. And one of the things that happened earlier in life is I always dreamed of being a boxer. I just think that was the purpose and destiny for me was to become a boxer. When I first saw it on TV, and maybe I perhaps remember seeing Muhammad Ali or something of that nature, maybe the Rocky movies. But I think as I look back, I believe it was more like Muhammad Ali boxing on television, which what really encouraged me to move forward in boxing, and I started in 1978. There was a gentleman by the name of Ben Stiff and James Hook. They were starting a boxing club, and I wanted to get involved, and so I got involved. And one of the things that happened was I took the permission slip, because you had to sign a permission slip, and I signed it myself. My mother never saw it, and there goes the career.
Oh, wow. You know, so do you have brothers and sisters?
I do.
And how many?
I have 8 now. It's 8 of us now living. It was 10 of us, 5 boys, 5 girls. I have, as I just stated, 8 of us living. There's 4 boys now living, and no, I should say that back. It's 4 boys. All the boys are still living. Had 2 sisters to pass. One passed before I was born, and then the other passed about 11 years ago.
You know, you mentioned about how many great athletes are from this area, and that is true. And per capita, I would have to think that it's simply a miracle the way things turn out. What do you attribute that to? The greatness that is built in our community?
I think it begins with a simple thing of the character buildup, what a person experiences in life, and how certain situations that are put in front of them, how they are looked at. You can easily become the victim of a situation, or you become the victor.
That's right.
So I think it's a character molding type of place. I remember growing up and having my neighbor to be able to correct me and things of that nature. Of course, we don't see a lot of that these days, but that's one of the things as a character builder, as you move on, as you move forward in life, and you appreciate those things when you look back on them, because those were the things that helped to mold you to be the person that you turn out to be.
You know, I'm interested in knowing, what do you think makes a good fighter?
I think having agility, having quickness, having reflexes, having the ability to be able to elude certain situations, being able to reaction. I think that's what makes a great fighter.
Okay.
To be able to think and make adjustments, quick adjustments, because you have to do it on a dime.
Wow.
And I think that's what make you the athlete that you'll turn out to be, how quick you're able to respond to those type of things.
We're sitting here with some of your hardware.
Okay.
And we'll talk about this. If you will, kind of tell our audience what we're looking at.
Sure. Well, you're looking at here the NABF. It is one of the longest reigning lineages in boxing history. It's called the North American Championship. And North American Championship is like being world champion. It's because it's the longest lineage reigning title. It doesn't get the prestige as a world title should, but in my estimation, it is definitely one of the highest ranking titles you could ever win. The other one is the National Boxing Association, and the National Boxing Association was the very first organization that was established in boxing. From a world tournament, not a world tournament, but a world class perspective. You could go intercontinental, or you could go world championship, and this was the world championship that the National Boxing Association developed. Everything winged off of the NBA, the National Boxing Association. A lot of people don't know that, but the WBA winged off of it, the WBC, and on and on and on and on. So it's the two longest lineage boxing titles in the history of boxing, and so to have been a part of something like that, I'm very thankful.
You know what, we're going to come back and talk more about your boxing, but I understand you also sing, and you have you've done so many things. You have a book, also called Trials to Triumph, and you have a DVD. So this guy does everything. But we're going to take a very short break just so you can get a taste of his music. Listen up.
I was close to giving up when I couldn't see hope at all. My heart began to fail, 'cause faith was gone. But soon I realized the miracles in me. Despite the past defeats, I won't be. Yeah, I can't hold on, I must be strong. There's no time for giving up. I can't hold on, I must be strong. For the greatest moment, for the greatest moment, for the greatest moment, for the greatest moment.
Would you like to increase your customer base, grow your online presence, transform the look of your brand? Let the marketing experts at Logo Graphics Design and Advertising help you hit the mark. Logo Graphics has provided marketing solutions for businesses for over 26 years. Our services include website development, marketing flyers or banners, email marketing, nonprofit outreach, social media management, and more. Contact our office to turn your ideas into solutions today. Call us at 1-800-288-9524 or email us at logographicsdna@gmail.com.
Have you ever been pressed for time? rushing to get to that very important meeting with the big guys, or trying to beat that grace period at work and finding somewhere to park is nearly impossible? You finally find a parking spot in front of the parking meter, and you realize that you didn't bring any change. You happen to look over and see a homeless man sitting on the sidewalk, and for a half second, we immediately assume that the homeless person wants something from us. We snap back to reality as we check all our pockets for change because we don't want to get a parking ticket. Coincidentally, we look over and see the homeless man handing us the exact change we need for the parking meter. My new album, View from the Inside Out, was created to encourage listeners to not judge a book by its cover, because sometimes it's the person that we least expect that will be the one that gives us exactly what we need when we need it. View from the Inside Out drops March 19 everywhere. And remember, integrity matters the most when you're by yourself.
Pain is something we all have to live with. Aching joints, arthritis, flare-ups from injuries that we long forgot. We each deal with pain in our own way until it becomes debilitating and we need real help. Even worse are the medications with opioids, steroids, and chemical ingredients we can't even pronounce or don't even know where they come from. Do we really want to put these potentially lethal drugs into or on our bodies? Did you know that even taking simple over-the-counter medicines for pain can have dangerous side effects when mixed with certain foods or other prescriptions? It's time to leave the harmful drugs behind and use No More Pain Herbal Blend. This blend of essential oils is 100% drug and chemical free. Massage into any joint or muscle for immediate pain relief. Don't believe it? Try it for yourself. Try it free for 30 days, and if you feel it doesn't work, simply return it. If it works for you, keep it and pay just $29.99. It's simple and painless. Take the 30-day challenge and get back to being you. Call today, 650-278-4428. That's 650-278-4428, or visit us on the web at beyondbeautiful.club. That's www.beyondbeautiful.club. Join the club and get back to being you.
Hey, I bring to you DOC, Disciples of Christ Ministries. We are dedicated to the advancement of God's kingdom by bringing our people closer to Christ. We are proving ways to effectively commit scripture to memory. If you want to memorize biblical text but are not sure what to memorize or how, the SOAP study is perfect for you. The SOAP method: scripture, observation, application, prayer, is the perfect launching point to begin hiding God's Word in your heart. This user-friendly and godly-inspired gift will give you thought starters to encourage you and others on your spiritual journey, bringing you intrinsic, extrinsic, and most importantly, eternal value. For more information, you may contact us today at 314-449-1337. Receive a free Bible with your order today.
The Dynasty Media Portal is a media distribution platform reflecting multiple genres of music, film, and special events via radio, television, and online streaming. Advertisers and content generators are connected to a combined listening audience of over 14 million viewers with any single piece of content. It's unlimited access for your organization or business through digital and social media marketing. Contact us at 1-800-288-9524 or email us at dynastytelevision@gmail.com. Visit www.dynastytelevisionmediaportal.com and experience what it means to be destined for Dynasty.
You were just listening to Arthur Anthony Johnson. And I just joked with him because my maiden name is Anthony, and it must be great. And it's just such smooth music, Arthur. You have a beautiful voice.
Thank you. And about that Anthony deal,
okay.
Now, that's my middle name, and I had a friend to say to me, everybody knows you by Arthur Flash, so we got to do something different for the music. Why don't we just call you Arthur Anthony?
Wow.
And it's stuck.
And that's the best name you could come up with, so Arthur. So, check out his music as well. But also I want to get back real quickly to the boxing. Tell us about the Goodwill Games and explain, if you will, exactly what are the Goodwill Games, the place in which you won your gold medal.
The Goodwill Games was used to really bring peace and harmony between the United States and Russia.
Wow.
And a bunch of other countries were invited to this tournament. And so it was Olympic-style competition. Olympic-style boxing, the event was. And there was, as I forestated, several different countries there. I think maybe 100 or so countries that participated in the Goodwill Games. And I was the only non-Soviet to win gold in the inaugural Goodwill Games.
And then after the Goodwill Games, you went on to the Olympics. It's a very unique story because, you are our gold medalist in the Olympics, whether or not you actually got it or not. But tell us quickly about your bouts with the Olympics.
Well, I had a couple of bouts. One was a preliminary bout, and the other one was I advanced to the quarterfinals. I had 2 victories in the games, and then we faced against the North Korean, and we lost a very controversial decision, a decision in which many to this day still think I won, and of course I still think I won. But in any event, it was a great fight, and of course that guy went on, as I pointed out, to win the gold medal.
Wow.
And it was a controversial decision. If anyone remembers the Seoul Olympics when they had the sit-in, when they had the confusion to arouse in the games because of a decision that the Koreans lost, which was before the bout that I had, and that really caused a lot of issues. I was told after the games that the Koreans would be suspended from the following Olympics. Of course, now that doesn't give me my medal that I
understand,
earned, but they did suspend them because of the things that took place in the '88 games, and of course, anyone can look that up and really kind of go back and see about the confusion.
Did you knock many people out?
I did. Over half of my wins were victories of knockout.
How do you feel when you knock somebody out there on the floor cold? Don't they almost look like they're dead?
Well, here's the thing that you think about. When you think about that, it's like a wrestling match. That guy's going to either overcome you or you're going to overcome that guy. And nobody wants to permanently hurt anybody in there. You just want to
knock him out.
Put him out temporarily. He wakes up, everything's okay. But really, at the high level of this thing, there's not very many knockouts that happen.
Okay, and you are doing so many things in the community. You're starting a foundation.
Yes.
And are there any Arthur Johnson proteges? You train anybody to come up behind you? And what are you doing with that foundation?
Oh my goodness, we're doing a lot with the kids in the community. We've developed 2 amateur world champions recently, and that was 3.5 years, should I say, of work, of just taking them through the technical aspect, bringing them to the level of being able to compete at different levels, and ultimately the world-class level. And we developed 2 champions, 2 brothers that lived in Washington Park. What we're doing now, we're still developing champions. This is kind of the motto that we've adopted, and that is making champions of tomorrow. In addition to the after-school programs that we do and the life skills. So that is something that is really passionate to me. I'm really passionate about that. My wife, LaTanya, is also passionate about it.
We didn't talk about your family.
Yeah, she's also passionate about it. and we see the difference that it makes in the lives of these kids today. It's a huge difference to know that they take from it that there is a purpose, there is a destiny for my life, there is something for me to do, and hopefully someday they'll pay it forward.
Arthur, we didn't talk much about your wife and children, so how many children do you have?
3 kids, 2 girls, 1 boy. One's Lakeisha, the other one's Rita, and then there's Arthur Jr., and they're all in their respective fields. The oldest is in the medical field. The second, the middle kid, is the Assistant State's Attorney of Illinois. And of course, Arthur Jr. is living out in California. He's a big-time musician.
Right, we need to get the whole family on Smiles TV.
Of course, I should say something about my wife. I better say something about my wife.
You better say something about your wife.
She works in the administrative department with the economists of the world.
Oh, okay.
So there's a lot of times where her brain is...
So just greatness all within the family. I'm looking at this book here called, again, Trials to Triumph, The Untold Story.
Untold Story.
Now, you know what? You're sitting here and we're talking about everything else, but I happened to start thumbing through it, and guys, he has quotes on here from Angelo Dundee, Evander Holyfield. This guy's been all over. He has music, he boxes, from Trials to Triumph. And you know, our time is running out, but tell us quickly what's in the book.
Well, Trials to Triumph is basically my story, the rise from where I came from, poverty, to being the champion on 4 different occasions as it ends. And some other things in there that you really want to get the book to read, because it really lets you know about, I was given 2 to 3 months to live. God pulls me through it, and it's just an awesome story.
Okay,
awesome story.
From Trials to Triumph, Arthur Anthony Flash Johnson. We got all of his names in there. So be sure to take time and get this book, From Trials to Triumph, from our own East St. Louisan gold medal Goodwill winner and an Olympian as well, Arthur Johnson.
Thank you.
You know, we're at the Jackie Joyner Center, and you have a competition that you do right here at the center. Tell us about that before we
do
go.
an annual tournament called the Arthur Johnson Boxing Invitational. It'll be happening this year, June 8th, 9th, and 10th. Boxers from around the country will come in and display their talent, their abilities, and we look forward to having them here this year. We're awesomely excited about it, and I'm just excited to be a part of giving back to the community, because that's really where it's all is.
June 8th, 9th, and 10th.
June 8th, 9th, and 10th.
And the name of it again is?
It's called the Arthur Johnson Boxing Invitational. And while we're on that boxing deal, there's a film called Greatest Comeback: The Untold Story. You can get that from Amazon. You can download it. It's called Greatest Comeback: The Untold Story. It's also it's a DVD, and it's the Arthur Flash Johnson story, and it's an amazing story that we were fortunate to be able to come through and to be able to share that inspiration with other people and give them that encouragement that no matter whatever they're facing in life, that there is, at the end of the rain, at the end of the road, a rainbow that shines through, and I thank God for that. I really do. I'm blessed to be able to share this, and so that's the hope, that when they read the book or they look at this DVD film, that they're encouraged and that they are inspired, and that, hey, if God did it for me, He'll do it for you.
That's right. You know what? When you're looking at these belts here, and you may look like a small man. When you fought, you were what weight?
I was 112. That was the first initial weight where I got a lot of attention at. Actually, let me go back. It was 106 at that time, so it would have been light flyweight, bantamweight, and junior bantam is where I ended.
You might think he's small, but you don't want to mess with Arthur Flash Johnson, but you do want to get his DVD, The Greatest Comeback, The Untold Story, all about Arthur Johnson, as well as From Trials to Triumph, his book that tells the story. And you know, you heard that music earlier, and he also has a CD out called Arthur Anthony, The Greatest Moments. You know, all from East St. Louis, Illinois. We have it all right here.
Thank you.
I want to thank you, Arthur, for being a guest on Smiles Television Talk Show.
My pleasure.
And you know what? He's a minister too, and we have him on tape. Will you come back to Smiles?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. You heard it. Okay, thank you for tuning in to Smiles Television Talk Show. I love you, we love you, and we want to thank our guest, Jackie Joyner, the greatest female athlete in the world, and Arthur Flash Johnson. Keep smiling. You look better when you smile, and remember, only what you do for Christ will last.
Talk to the owner and the bartender.
Coming to the stage, y'all. I want you to put your hands together right now. Start clapping. Give it up for them. Give it up for them. I want you guys to make her feel real welcome. Put your hands together for Michelle. Hey! Thank you. It's important to have a relationship with God. You know what I'm saying? It's like critical time, so you can't afford to not be in a relationship with God. Amen. I love the church, the shingles. Y'all gotta forgive me because I ran out the house and I forgot to take my ADD medicine. So this could go a whole lot of different ways up here. The cart could get away from the horse, so I'm just letting you know up front. I got first thing on the menu that they need to do for us, for black folks, is we need a rib tip plate. I'm just saying. I think we need a rib tip plate on the menu at Starbucks. That would help us feel validated for what went on. Because it wasn't right. It wasn't right. There's a ticket for a friend. I'm going to just go on in. She was like, where you going? I was like, well, I'm going to try to. I thought this was going to do a game of one-on-one. He's like, where you going? Like, come on back. Nope. I need 21s. 19. Oh, the devil is alive. Oh, no. When y'all see big people out of breath, don't talk to us. Don't talk to us. Every person in here knows what it's like to go up a flight of steps. When you get to the top of the flight of steps, you be like, then you get the call. All right, where my married couples at? Where the married folks at? Make some noise. Now stop. Boo. Boo. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I fail to mention that I got my master's degree at Pt2 University? Sorry. Let me just insert this. Today's a day. Today's a good day to trust God.
That's right.
Amen. I'm just can't say that one time. Today is a good day. Y'all say it with me. Y'all gon' say it. Today is a good day to trust God. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Wow, I'm a lucky man. She is the light of my life and as fine as a Georgia pine. Good God from Zion. She's truly been a blessing. So what am I afraid of? I mean, she's perfect in every way. I love her. Yeah, I need to do the right thing. I'm going to do the right thing. Yeah, it's time.
My man is fine. He even looks better in the morning. I love him so much. Although he's not perfect, I accept him for who he is, and I'll support him in every area. I'll be there for him till death do us part.
Excuse me? How do you know Chris?
You must be Deanna.
Hi, I'm Roz McCarthy, CEO founder of Minorities for Medical Marijuana. Minorities for Medical Marijuana is a nonprofit advocacy, outreach, and education organization based in Orlando, Florida. Our focus is making sure that minorities have an opportunity in the new legalization of marijuana throughout the country. We're in South Carolina, we're in Missouri, Illinois, New York, New Jersey, Texas, Arizona. Our organization was formed to make sure that individuals, people of color, people coming from communities of color have an opportunity to be able to participate in the legalization of cannabis in the United States.
If you're tired of wandering in the wilderness of obesity, God is ready to usher you into the promised land of healthy and fit for life. Eating as an Act of Worship Ministries is a non-profit organization dedicated to teaching the biblical principles for maintaining a healthy body for the glory of God. Join our free 12-week course for both adults and children online via Periscope or at New Calvary Temple Kojic, located at 1120 Bishop Lindsay Avenue in North Little Rock, Arkansas. No registration fees or membership fees, just the purchase of the Eating as an Act of Worship workbook. So sign up today. To register, visit our website at www.eatingasanactofworshipministries.org and tune in to our Saturday morning radio show at 11 o'clock a.m. Central Time on Studio W Buzz.